All right, I'm putting this short video for those who are stuck in the Dutch game. Um, I sent an email to Ben, but he never replied back, and it's been a while, so hopefully he doesn't mind that I'm using his programs that he wrote. But what I did is I simplify it, so not everything is in here. Um, the player class is just the way he designed it originally, and it should look the same as you had seen before with a ball, right? So you can see the similarities between that. This is nothing new. Then we have the square, the green square. The green square, what does it look like? Well, we know that the green square is going to be jumping around. We have two private instance fields, X and Y, of double type. Um, so the constructor starts with just putting it in one specific location, but then it's going to be changing. It's going to be changing randomly. Here's these two are mutator methods. These are gated methods, meaning accessor methods, and then you have the draw method. Nothing more than that. So technically they look very similar except that the randomness. Um, let's see. The constructor here is going to take the mouse position in X and the mouse position in Y, because the player is really coming from the mouse, the movement of the mouse. Now, how do we tie all these two things together? So I took out of his original code all the red balls. And that's why I said only two objects are in this main or driver. So he set the canvas to be from -1 to 1 for both X and Y scales. Here's the double buffering so we don't get that flickering. Some of these things, I don't think we need them. Do we need them? I forced some things to happen. Yeah, I don't think I need this. Yeah, I don't need it. Let me just remove this so you don't get confused. This was mostly for collision with the balls. So those are things that you're going to need eventually, because this is your driver. This is what it's going to be checking when there is collision and things like that. He creates an object of player. And remember when I said MX and MY right here on the player BQ? Well, it's going to give you the position of the mouse, X coordinate and Y coordinate right here. So as soon as it starts, the player is going to know where the mouse is right here on this line. And then we have the green square. The green square starts at a random position between those numbers that we said before, right? We set game to be on to be true, game on. You don't have to say game on equals true. It's the same as saying, because it's a Boolean, it's the same as saying is true equal to true. That doesn't make sense, right? I mean, you could do that, but obviously just saying this will do. We clear the canvas, and now we're going to set bin, which is actually the player object, to the X and Y will be changing as mouse will give information on where it is. And we draw it. We draw bin and we draw the square. We create those two objects and then we draw them. This is a while loop, so it's going to go on for as long as game on is true. And I don't change it at all in here because this is only a phase, a stage on the development. So I created the objects. I set the variables for the player, Ben. I set the variables for, or the values for the green square, and said I draw them. So what happens in that loop over here? these 4 loops make more sense if you have the red balls. I didn't remove it because I was hoping that this will help you figure out where you put the red balls, and a lot of other things are coming after this. So right now there is only 2 objects, which is the player. The player is a blue ball, and then the green square, which is the safe house, right? So the player goes there and it gets points. So what's the distance between from player to the green square? And I will use the usual Pythagorean theorem right there, which we use it also for collision in the other one, the colliding balls and the ball driver. So there is also and then we have the scoring distance have to be between those 2 values. Right. So, like I said, I eliminated a lot of the code that he has originally because I didn't want to give away the whole thing. Otherwise, this would not be anything that will help you, right? So I'm just trying to help you move one step further, maybe more than one step, because this is the key to the whole thing. So for as long as the distance between those 2 is less than 0.02, then I'm going to set x and set y for the green square. It's going to reset it, right? Because as soon as it touches, it's going to jump and go somewhere else. And then I'm going to draw the mouse. So once again, all the 4 loops over here and the if statements are only here because of the red balls. Here we have the show and the pause. And so all this is inside my game on. What happens after game on? Technically nothing, right? So if you are working on the final version or the next version in which you include the balls, I guess you will use the number of times that I have collisions to determine when the game is off. I mean, I'm hoping that he wants to do the final version of it, a video of the final version, because he finished and it looks good. He has a screen that says have to start and what happens when you actually reach the collision. So I'm going to wait a little bit longer for him to respond. Plus, I don't want to give you the other one right away either way. Anyway, let's run it. Let me see, I think it's this one. Yeah, and so, like I said before, this only does a partial part of the of the whole game. Excuse me. So we can see that the ball is actually following the mouse. It's lagging because of my quick time. Makes it all slower. But what happens when I touch the red square? It jumps around. This is how the player, try to pursue the green square to get points. So what's missing over here is all the red balls, making it difficult for the player to actually score. And after so many X number of collisions with the red balls, then the game is over. And it will give you the score, right? So the score is accumulated when you touch the green hole. All right, I'm hoping that this will help you. If there is anything on the code that you want to discuss with me, shoot me an email or message me. Any of those things will do. Okie dokie. I want to have some type of Zoom party for birthdays. We haven't celebrated, we haven't sung any happy birthday to all the birthday people. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.